The creeping devil is a rare species of cactus that is not only capable of cloning itself to survive, but it's also capable of detaching itself from its major to then shoot off and move through the desert over time. Oh gosh, they're multiplying. Seriously though, this cactus is a born survivor. They're like, I'm not gonna die, I'll clone myself. And then next thing you know, boom, they own the entire desert. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Easy Peasy. I'm your host, David the Baker, and today we're gonna be taking a look on into r/darn that's interesting. I'm sure you're ready to dive on into the video, so without further ado, let's go. This tree grew inside of the stop sign. Oh, that is beautiful. It's sitting there like, stop! It's the circle of life. I took a picture of oil on soap water and it looked like planets. Ah yes, to infinity and beyond. Houston, this is just soap water. 140 million year old dinosaur femur found in France. Yo, that is epic. Geez, dinosaurs must have been huge. Look at that bone. Swedish millionaire Johan Eliash. It doesn't matter. Purchased 400,000 acres of the Amazon rainforest from a logging company for $14 million for the sole purpose of its preservation. You see, now that's how you be a good millionaire. We love to see it. After the fall of the Soviet Union, a city in Ukraine was getting rid of all their communist statues. A local artist converted the last remaining one into Darth Vader.
We shall no longer rise up, communists.
Imagine walking through a museum and finding a 100-year-old painting of yourself from another life. Oh, now that is something else. I would start going up to people who look at the painting and be like, oh yeah, you know that painting right there? Yeah, that's me. You know, I know it's over 100 years ago, but yeah, no big deal. The seal is perfectly illuminated for about 1 minute on Veterans Day every year. Memorial in Anthem, Arizona. This is architecture done right. Not only is that something you don't want to miss, but it's a great way to memorialize the troops. Mwah, 10 out of 10. After 17 years of consistent drawing, I can finally draw anything from my imagination. Oh, and you weren't kidding. Jeez. If this doesn't scream talent, I don't know what does. Hold on, can we zoom in? Like, oh, look at all that detail. I'm just blown away by this. Dr. Barry J. Marshall was convinced that H. pylori bacteria causes stomach ulcers, but no one had believed him. Since it was illegal to test this theory on humans, he drank the bacteria himself, developed ulcers within days, and treated them with antibiotics, and then went on to win a Nobel Prize. This man's a mad lad. He was like, fine, you don't believe me? Watch this. He deserves a Nobel Prize, honestly. Lunar eclipse and Mars across the sky. It's beautiful. One of Oklahoma's landmarks came into being literally by accident. A cement truck rolled over on its side on Winganon Road years ago, and because the mixer was full of concrete and too heavy to be moved, it has since been turned into a fake NASA space capsule by artists. Hey, you know what they say, when life gives you lemons, make a fake NASA shuttle. I mean, because why not? This makes for a really good tourist attraction. Tiananmen Square before the tanks. Beautiful. I mean, just like, look at how happy everyone is. An American prisoner of war was nicknamed the Incredibly Stupid One by his Vietnamese captors. Upon returning to the US, he provided the names of over 200 prisoners of war, which he had memorized to the tune of Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Hey, the incredibly stupid one? More like the incredibly useful one. Like, honestly, the Vietnamese guards were probably like, yeah, that guy's pretty stupid. All he does is sing Old MacDonald. Little did they know. This 102-year-old man has driven the same Rolls Royce for 82 years, a 1928 Rolls Royce. Oh, look how proud he is. He's like, hey, you see what I got here? A classic. Gary Gygax's wife was convinced he was having an affair, so she followed him to a dimly lit basement and burst into the room, only to find him and his friends hunched over hand-drawn maps. Gary would then go on to invent the role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons. Aw, that's so mean. I can imagine the wife's like, I thought you were cheating on me, but it's worse. You're playing Dungeons and Dragons without me. How could you, you monster? This is Teardrop, made and installed by the Russians to honor those who died in 9/11. Now that is truly a beautiful monument. Neil Armstrong's family watching their dad fly to the moon. Hey mom, is dad coming back for dinner? What? No, are you not paying attention? This beautiful custom forged axe. Whoa, now that is something else. Seriously, that looks like something Thor would wield. In 2017, a dog named Odin refused to leave his flock of goats behind during the California Tubbs fire as his owner fled to safety. Days later, the owners came back to their property to find that Odin survived. But not only did he manage to survive, he also managed to keep all of the goats alive as well as some deers that had joined the flock. Odin's sitting there like, yeah, you know, I saved everyone. Yeah, you know, no big deal or anything. Japan had issues with crow nests on electrical infrastructure, so they went and destroyed all of the nests, which prompted the local crow population to just build more nests, far in excess to what they actually needed. Hey, little known fact, crows Crows are actually geniuses. They're so big-brained, it's insane. Not only that, but they're really good at tricking humans. Like for instance, I'm a crow. What, you don't think I'm a crow? What are you, some kind of weirdo? Of course I am. You've never seen my face. In Tikrit, Iraq, there's a 6-foot-tall monument of a shoe that journalist Mudahar al-Zidi threw at George Bush. Ah yes, what a beautiful memory. Okay, maybe not beautiful for everyone, but it was still kind of funny. I'm pretty sure he missed like both times, right? Doing the time warp. Now that's an epic grandfather clock. Seriously, no, that might just be the coolest grandfather clock out there. Wait, did he tie it in a knot? Like how do you even do that? In 2014, NASA emailed a wrench to space. When an astronaut aboard the International Space Station required a ratcheting socket wrench, the space agency had one designed and then emailed the file to him. Then a 3D printer aboard the ISS built the tool in 4 hours. It was the first time that an object had been designed on Earth but built in space. Okay, now that's cool and all, but why wasn't there already like a wrench on the ship if somebody would have needed it? Like, wouldn't that be important? Like, I don't know. It's still cool though. Apparently one man does this with a rake. Oh my. Somebody arrest this man. He's clearly an alien. Put him in like Area 51. Do whatever you have to, but somebody get this man. In 2009, a pigeon named Winston raced Telkom, South Africa's largest internet service provider. They did this to see who could deliver 4 gigabytes of data to a location 60 miles away the fastest. By the time Winston arrived with a 4 gigabyte flash drive, Telkom had transmitted only 4% of the data. Man, forget AT&T. We all need Winston in our lives. Aw yeah. Al Capone is the reason we have expiration dates on milk bottles. After his niece became extremely ill from bad milk, the powerful Chicago gangster lobbied aggressively for expiration dates to be put on the milk for the safety of children and pregnant women. Yes, you are a bad guy, but this does not mean you are a bad guy. No, he's still pretty bad. Doug Jones, the chameleon. I don't know why they call him a chameleon. He looks pretty normal. Oh yeah. So that's all him. All Doug Jones the chameleon? More like Doug Jones, CEO of Halloween costumes. Seriously, this guy's got to be the most popular person at a Halloween party. This just in, old people line up to clean radiation in Japan. Mr. Yamada, I am 72, and on average, I probably have 13 to 15 years left to live. Even if I were exposed to radiation, cancer could take up to 20 or 30 years, or even longer to develop. Therefore, us older ones have less chance of getting cancer. So basically, a group of 200 plus retirees are volunteering to expose themselves to high levels of radiation so the younger men and women don't have to, making the ultimate sacrifice to protect the lives of their children and their children's children. Absolutely incredible. Age 11 versus age 16. My drawing progress. Hey, I mean, even at 11, I probably couldn't do half as good as that one, but looking at how far you've gone, it's incredible. I mean, kudos, for real. Artists are just like the coolest people ever, because like, how do you just pick up a pencil or like a paintbrush or like a sculpting stick? I don't even know what you call them, but like, how do you pick that up and make something so beautiful? It's absolutely incredible. Marion Stokes is a Philadelphia woman who began taping whatever was on television in 1979 and didn't stop until her death in 2012. The 71,000 VHS and Betamax tapes she made are the most complete collection preserving this era of TV. They are being digitalized by the Internet Archive. See, everybody was probably like, Marion, you gotta get rid of those VHSs. And she's like, no, I'm gonna be a hero. And she absolutely was, so like kudos to her. 365 puzzles for the price of one. Wait, how does that make sense? I mean, I know it does. So you take the calendar, and depending on what day it is, you design the puzzle to fit that day. Okay, now that is like a next level design. Typically having several dogs at any given time, Curly was known to come home often with strays he found along his travels. He would foster the strays until he was able to find them new homes. It is estimated that Curly saved and rehomed more than 5,000 dogs in his lifetime, making him a man before his time with his humane concern for man's best friend. This man took loving dogs to a whole nother level. What an absolute saint. Meet Mayor Max Jr., the elected mayor of Idlewild, or Idlewild. I don't know. So tell us, what are some of the policies you'd like to enact as mayor? Well, first I'd like to fire each and every mailman that's out there. Then I order that we go to the pound and let all of the dogs out. This is of course done to get rid of the pesky squirrel problem we have in our forests. Oh yes, and every neighborhood must have a dog park now. Let's raise the roof! Oh, I mean, I'm a dog, yes, so woof woof. When filming the final scene in Kingpin, where Bill Murray's character bowls 3 strikes in a row, Murray actually did bowl 3 strikes in a row on the first try. His celebrations and the crowd going wild were both genuine. Geez, I know Bill Murray is talented, but that's on a whole nother level. Apparently he's a professional bowler now too. Mammoths were still walking the earth when this grasshopper weight was hand carved almost 4,000 years ago in Bronze Age Babylonia, circa 1800 BCE. Wow, all those years ago, and they were able to carve this thing in such detail. It really is nice. Bill Paxton and Lance Henriksen are the only 2 actors to be killed by the Terminator, Predator, and Alien. Oh, now that is definitely a brag. I don't care how cool you are. If you haven't been killed by the Predator, Alien, and the Terminator, are you really cool? I didn't think so. One of the first cat photos ever taken. 1880s. Aww. Maybe there's something that goes on in us human brains that are like, Cat Fluffy must take pic. Because we're still taking cat photos to this day. It's beautiful, really. In the 1880s, the director of Harvard Observatory was often frustrated with his staff. He supposedly said, "My Scottish maid could do better." So he decided to hire her. Williamina Fleming ran a team for decades, classified thousands of stars, and discovered white dwarfs and the Horsehead Nebula. Oh, now that's hardcore. The guy was like, "Williamina, put down that duster and pick up a telescope." And she ran with it. She did a great job. When Volvo invented the 3-point seatbelt in 1959, they made the patent free for all competitors to use in order to save lives. This is because it had more value as a free life-saving tool than something to profit from. Seriously, it almost seems evil to patent the seatbelt, like that could save so many lives. I'm glad they made the right decision. Nikola Tesla describing a cell phone in 1926, "When wireless is perfectly applied, the whole world will be converted into a huge brain, which in fact is all things being particles of a real and rhythmic whole. We shall be able to communicate with one another instantly, irrespective of distance. Not only this, but through television and telephony, we shall see and hear one another as perfectly as though we were face to face, despite intervening distances of thousands of miles. And the instruments through which we shall be able to do all of this will fit in our vest pockets." Wow, dude was spot on. Although not a lot of people wear vests, but I mean still. A Holocaust survivor recalls the moment of her liberation and the unexpected way it changed her life forever. "I stood in the doorway of that factory, and I knew I was free. I saw a strange car coming down the hill. The car had a white star of the American Army on its hood. 2 men in strange uniforms sat in it. We gathered them to be Americans. One of the men came towards me, and I looked up at him with incredible awe and disbelief that I was looking at someone who fought for us. Of course I was terribly frightened. I looked at him and said, 'We are Jewish.' There was a long pause. Then he said, 'So am I.' It was the greatest moment of my life. He asked me to come with him, and he held the door open for me. He has now been holding that door open for 50 years as my husband." Aww. Seriously, that is so beautiful. So it turns out that great tits can and do kill and eat both other birds and small mice when food is scarce, particularly during winter. And I cannot get over this picture. It looks like the kind of photo hunters take with their kills. I'm losing it. That bird's like, "Yeah, you see I rustled me up some good eating." Meet Blade Runner, a humpback whale named this because she survived after being cut by a boat propeller in 2001. You see them scars right there? Them scars tell a story. A beautiful story of a whale who actually survived and lived a happy life. We love to see it. The Maasai of Kenya have a cricket team that they use to promote awareness of and campaign against social issues such as female genital mutilation and childhood marriages. You see everyone, this is what heroes look like. And with that everyone, that's going to conclude this episode of r/darn that's interesting. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like down below, and don't forget to press the subscribe button and hit the notification bell to be notified of all of our easy peasy uploads. I'm your host David the Baker, and I can't wait to see you in the next video, so till then, peace out and 3 thumbs up. See ya!